I'm really excited to be here with you guys today talking about some stuff that I don't usually, go into so much, especially not on this platform. Um, but tomorrow is Easter. Yesterday was Good Friday. And so there's a lot, coming up around. Hello, friends. There's a lot coming up for me around like religion, spirituality, how I practice. None of us right now can practice the way that we typically would if we were planning to go to church. And even the Easter Bunny might be making a few adjustments. But I have a really beautiful story that has unfolded for me, especially over the last, I would say, 6 months, but really more than that, really like the last year and a half around my spirituality, my faith, and the way that I practice in my religion. And so I wanted to share. It's more of a story than like me, kind of sharing tips or anything. It's the story of that unfolding. So laying a bit of the groundwork is that if you followed me for any period of time, you might know that I do love my crystals. I love acknowledging like the new moon, the full moon. I love those like spiritual practices to get me closer to the forces that are, hey Natalie, getting me closer to, all of the universal elements that have, that also play a part in our journey. And so I have a lot of different tools and things that I lean on to help me feel closer to God. And if you know me at all, you know that one of the things I love most are my cards. I'm going to show one of my favorite decks right here, the Divine Feminine Oracle deck by Megan Watterson. So here's the story about this deck and how this deck brought me closer to my spiritual practice. So I got this deck. I ordered it not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before as a present to myself that I was going to put under the tree so that Eli could see me opening, presents. So it arrived from Amazon on Christmas Eve, and I did not wrap it and put it under the tree like I had intended to. Or before I did that, I said, you know what, let me just sneak in a little card pull really quick. And so, I kid you not, I shuffle the cards, and the one that pops out was Mary of Nazareth, the Mother of God. I'm like, it is Christmas Eve, and Mother Mary did not just pop out at me. And that was one of the most powerful, like really spiritual Christmases I had had in a while. When you get older, sometimes Christmas, the meaning of it changes. And you're doing it for your kids, and it just all has a different energy, and it doesn't maybe quite have the life and the excitement that it had when you were a kid. But let me tell you that pulling this card on Christmas Eve, like having Mother Mary right there, and reading the description in the book that comes with the deck, talking about the courage that she had to birth Jesus, and knowing all of the things that I was doing in my life and all of the courage that it was requiring of me each and every day was such this powerful experience. And I carried that even into this Christmas when it came back around again. I just felt that Mother Mary energy. And so that was, this is also in a time when, while I grew up Catholic, obviously, like, Latino family, checked all of the boxes in my Catholic faith of, confirmation, communion, and all of that. I hadn't really been practicing, going to mass every week, or it had been a while since I had practiced in the Catholic Church regularly. Honestly, when I did attempt to go to masses at churches around my area, it just didn't have the energy, the life, and the vibration that I felt like I could achieve just sitting on my own and meditating and journaling and pulling cards. I felt like I got so much more by doing that than going into a church, and so I just kind of didn't go for a while. So I'm doing my thing though, and I'm connecting, and obviously I'm connecting with Mother Mary, so I'm feeling pretty good. And then, months start going by, and another card starts coming up from this deck for me. Saint Brigid is the one who starts popping up. And it doesn't get more Catholic than having a nun staring right back at you, right? So I kept pulling the Saint Brigid card and just really asking the universe, am I meant to go back to the Catholic Church? What is happening right now? Obviously, I feel that it is with me. And in that moment, I really felt like that was enough. I didn't feel any pressure to start practicing in the church anymore. But I did feel like the church was with me. And that was all that I needed in that moment. And it felt very peaceful and grounding to me. And then last October, I took a trip to Colombia, and this was because my boyfriend's niece was getting baptized. And so we were going to the ceremony. He was the godfather, and so we were there. And I didn't have many, I'm just going with the flow. I'm excited to be in Colombia. I'm excited to be with him and his family. I'm excited to be there for this ceremony. And we get into the church, and then the father is saying all of the prayers, and he starts saying, like, they say the Our Father and they say the Hail Mary, but obviously all in Spanish because we're in Colombia. And this flood of memories comes right into my bones, and I'm sure I started tearing up there. And it was the memory. It took me right back to being a little girl in Puerto Rico in my grandmother's living room, and her praying the rosary with me. And it was just this just being transported and really just remembering all of these memories that I had. How many of you really practiced a religion with your family when you were young? Do you have memories that are connected to different relatives, whether it's your immediate parents, your grandparents? Do you have memories like that from your childhood? I would love to know, because for me, it doesn't get deeper than me praying the rosary in Spanish in Puerto Rico with my grandparents. That is just a memory that is so a part of me. And so I realized as I was there that it was really important for me to get back to Puerto Rico and to reconnect with that practice of my faith. And it all took on a deeper meaning because while I was there in Bogota, Colombia, one of my healers, I had connected with her, and she sent me a message. She said, "Stephanie, the Virgin Guadalupe is there with you. I just want you to know." Oh, Natalie says, "Oh yeah. Oh, the Greek church. Yes, for Easter. Oh my gosh, I can imagine." And I love it when, just see that added layer of the cultural element onto it. You just get that double dose of heritage, right? It's not just the spiritual practice, it's also a practice of my lineage, of my culture, and that it just doesn't get any more you than that right there. So Janet Raftis, one of my healers, "Stephanie, Guadalupe is there with you, and she's really holding you in this moment while you're on this trip." And I kid you not, that the last morning of that trip, I looked over onto the nightstand of the bed that I was sleeping on, and there was nothing on the nightstand except a little a little ceramic figurine of the Virgin Guadalupe. And I was really taken aback, and I realized if I hadn't believed in Janet's message before, I definitely did then. So I came back to Georgia knowing I needed to get to Puerto Rico as quickly as I could, because I wanted to have this memory with my grandmother. I wanted to pray the rosary with her. I didn't know how quickly I would be able to get there, but I knew that I had to. And somewhere, in the next few months, Janet and I talk often, and she shares insights with me. And she said to me, and from this deck again, that Stephanie, Fatima is stepping forward. She really is with you right now. So if you haven't worked with her before, then you just may want to, because she's really standing out as someone who has something for you. So in, February, I did get to go to Puerto Rico. The very first night I'm there, I say, at 7:00 every night, my grandparents pray the rosary, just FYI, 7:00 every night. So as soon as I got there, I said, when are you praying the rosary? Because I'm going to be here, and Eli's going to be here, and we're going to do this. And so I prayed the rosary with them several times while I was there. And the very last full day that I was in Puerto Rico was Sunday. And so we went to church all together. The whole family goes to the same church. And when I got the program, that they hand out, the little printed program, I realized that the parish name, God, I'm gonna cry. The parish name is Fatima. So I shared this message. So now I'm back from Puerto Rico, and Eli and I pray the rosary in Spanish all the time. And this is a rosary that when we were in Arecibo, my grandmother purchased this one for me, and so I pray it often. But I find it so interesting that I stepped away from the Catholic Church because it didn't really hold for me the experience I was looking for. I lean into all of this new age stuff, including these card decks that I'm really, really enjoying, okay? I never felt like anything was lost. I just felt like what I was looking for was not there, and I was finding it somewhere else. So I never felt like I wasn't getting what I needed spiritually. I was just doing it differently. But how fascinating that all of it led me back to the beginning. And I mean the very beginning. Stephanie, you as a little girl praying the rosary with your grandmother. And I needed that journey. And I realized that just as, Natalie, you were sharing there, what I really wanted, and I wasn't looking for this, but this is where the real beauty of it was for me. It was, where does my faith intersect with the deepest core part of who I am, which is that that cultural piece, especially as a Latina living here in the States, where it feels so lost sometimes. Where is an even deeper layer of that, and how I was always on track to find it. And so I wanted to share that because I know that faith and spirituality can be such a journey of feeling like you're connected, feeling like you're not, feeling like you're practicing in the right way, feeling like you're not. And I, after seeing that whole full circle journey, I just feel like you're never off track. You're always on the right track. You're always connected. You are never not receiving the guidance that you're supposed to receive in that moment, and to just always really love where you are. I would love to hear what you all are experiencing right now in terms of feeling like you're connected in your in your spiritual practices. Do you feel like you are able to really have a ritual that serves you and leaves you feeling nourished at the end of the day? I will wait to see if you all have any like comments or questions to share. I'll share a little goodie since I talked a lot about my grandmother and how much she means to me and how much she has taught me about how to practice my faith when I was in Puerto Rico, and when actually the same store that she bought me this rosary, I knew that I was going to leave Puerto Rico with a Mother Mary figurine, statue, because any house you go to there has them. And so at the store, I bought this one, which is in my room, and I have it with the rosary there that she bought me. And so every day I wake up and it's there, and I just feel so connected. But however you choose to practice, however you choose to connect, and whatever rituals you teach to your children too, as long as you feel nourished, and as long as you feel love, and as long as you just are following what feels best to you in that moment, there is no wrong way. I truly believe no wrong way to connect in with your faith. And so I'm wishing you all a beautiful Easter. I'm wishing you all a really safe and easy time in this moment, and yeah, lots of love. I thank you for being on here with me, and I will catch you soon.